A month has passed by in the blink of an eye, and during this month, everything in my life has undergone a profound transformation. First and foremost is the Dwarven Axe Techniques, or as my grandfather, the village chief, puts it, I have completely and thoroughly mastered the Dwarven Axe Techniques. What comes next is proficiency and practical combat skills. As for my learning ability, my grandfather, the village chief, is greatly astonished. In his long life, he has never seen anyone as intelligent as me. In response to my grandfather's praise, I merely smiled faintly. Learning is my forte after all. How else do you think I earned a double PhD at the age of 10? It's all thanks to my extraordinary learning abilities. Now, what I'm doing is carefully observing the other blacksmith uncles. I watch how they transform and apply their skills in forging. After close observation, I've realized that forging is not just about mastering techniques. There is a wealth of knowledge involved, or selection, smelting, alloys, quenching. The knowledge seems endless, but I'm not worried about it. Photographic memory is my strong suit. Once I see, observe, and take note of something, no matter what knowledge or skill it is, I quickly digest it and make it my own. Now, I no longer study alongside the other children. They have only learned the second axe technique out of the 18 Dwarven Axe Techniques. They have a long way to go. I only go to their training sessions in the morning and evening. The rest of the time, my grandfather, the village chief, allows me to observe other dwarven blacksmiths forging and understand the essence of forging. On the other hand, my 9 young divine art is progressing rapidly. While I haven't yet experienced the chi sensation described in the scriptures, my body has noticeably grown stronger. Especially in terms of strength, through daily consolidation and improvement, my strength has become considerable. My grandfather, the village chief, has instructed that he will accompany me on an expedition outside the village in the coming days. Lastly, there's the matter of Dwarven Axe Techniques. Over this month, I haven't spent any time thinking about the 100 battle blade technique. Instead, I've been immersing myself entirely in studying the Dwarven Axe Techniques. As the saying goes, many skills do not burden the body, and learning more is always a good thing. Besides, the Dwarven Axe Techniques are essentially the dwarves' forging techniques, which makes it even more worthwhile for me to focus on learning them. After a month of training, I've become proficient in battle axe techniques. According to my grandfather, the village chief, I'm now ready for practical combat. In contrast, the other dwarven children will need at least another year to reach my current level. Although it's only been a month, my appearance has undergone significant changes. Muscles all over my body have started to develop rapidly. The rigorous training has filled my body with strength. While I'm still far from maturity, compared to other dwarven children of my age, my strength advantage is overwhelming. I'm eagerly looking forward to the upcoming expedition. After learning for such a long time, I finally have the opportunity to go outside the village. Once outside, I'll be able to take on 2 other jobs, mining and transporting ore. Even though my initial activity radius will be limited to within a kilometer, I believe I will grow quickly because I have a clear goal, to become a qualified blacksmith as soon as possible and forge my very own masterpiece. For this goal, I will put in every effort I can. For several consecutive days, I've been fully dedicating myself to mastering the Dwarven Axe Techniques, increasing my strength. At night, I meditate throughout, simultaneously recovering from fatigue and steadily increasing my strength. Finally, the time for the expedition is approaching. However, before the expedition begins, there's one crucial thing I must do: find a mentor. As mentioned earlier, Dwarven customs dictate that no Dwarven blacksmith will forge weapons or armor for another dwarf. This means that the weapon I use in the expedition must be forged by myself. To learn forging, one must have a mentor, a Dwarven blacksmith who will teach forging techniques. Usually, a dwarf's mentor is their own father because every dwarf is a blacksmith, and there's no need to seek others as mentors. Typically, every dwarf has their own forging experience, and such skills are passed down to their children. However, my situation is different. I have no family here, and everything is unfamiliar. Therefore, I must choose my own mentor, and they must agree to teach me. Fortunately, luck has been on my side. My grandfather, the village chief, greatly appreciates my learning ability and has taken me as his apprentice personally. You see, my grandfather, the village chief, is not only the greatest blacksmith in the Dwarven tribe for the past 300 years, but also the most talented blacksmith in thousands of years. He once forged 8 legendary weapons and became the chief of the Dwarven tribe as a result. It took an entire morning for my grandfather, the village chief, to personally impart the basics of forging to me, the fundamental forging techniques. He even demonstrated how to forge a specialized dwarven battle axe. Dwarven battle axes have short handles, only the minotaurs among the beastkin use large halberds with long handles. The dwarves' small stature means they cannot effectively wield long-handled battle axes, no matter how strong they are. Early in the morning, I first practiced dwarven battle axe forging for 2 hours. Then, under the guidance of my grandfather, the village chief, we headed to the back of the village. The dwarven village is nestled in a mountain hollow, with only the village entrance facing the wilderness. Inside the village is the mountain itself, where dwarves typically mine and conduct smelting and forging. To the left of the dwarven village is a small dock, and beyond it is an expansive, picturesque lake. I've seen the Great Sea, and the only difference between this lake and the sea is the absence of the turbulent waves. Also, the lake's water is green rather than the deep blue of the sea. Spending the morning under the guidance of my grandfather, I learned how to distinguish iron ore. It's quite simple. Firstly, you look at the color. Iron ore is relatively black and heavier. Most importantly, my grandfather gave me a small magnet. If it's iron ore, the magnet will stick to it. After a morning of mining, I finally gathered enough iron ore. My grandfather informed me that these ores were sufficient to smelt the iron needed for forging a 20-kilogram dwarven battle axe. After drinking some papaya porridge at noon, my grandfather demonstrated how to smelt the ores, separating the stone from the iron. After his demonstration, he asked me to try it myself, as he believed self-exploration leads to more lasting knowledge. The smelting furnace is made of fired clay. First, special carbonaceous fuel is placed inside and ignited to its fullest intensity. Only then is the iron ore poured in and the furnace sealed. Responsible for blowing air into the furnace are 10 trained breeze whales. Breeze whales are a type of wind element magical beast that can exhale strong winds, causing harm to enemies. Of course, these breeze whales have been trained. Ordinary breeze whales typically only produce small tornadoes, but the trained ones can blow the required wind for blacksmithing. Through a dozen pipes, 10 breeze whales blew continuous and relentless gusts of wind into the furnace, making the carbonaceous fuel burn vigorously and rapidly increasing the temperature. When the temperature exceeds a certain level, the ore in the furnace begins to melt, turning into magma-like liquid. This marks the completion of the first step in smelting. Once all the ore in the furnace has turned into liquid, we quickly prepare a wet and sticky clay and then proceed to the front of the furnace. Using an iron rod, we pierce the bottom's guide opening to drain the liquid. Because the solution of iron ore is denser than regular ore solutions, most of the liquid that flows out of the guide channel is iron, with over 90% purity. This is the primary material for forging. Based on the amount of ore, we determine how much iron liquid to collect. If we collect too much, we risk drawing out the rock solution, affecting the iron ore's purity. However, if we collect too little, we waste iron liquid, and the uncollected iron liquid will be discarded along with other stone solutions. After collecting the iron liquid, the first step of smelting is considered complete, and we have acquired some raw iron. Next, we move on to refinement. To create a good weapon, or refinement is crucial. The purer the iron, the better the material for crafting, resulting in a stronger weapon. In general, after undergoing 9 consecutive refinement cycles, the iron's purity reaches 99% or more, making it suitable for the next step of work. We take out the pre-carved molds and pour the iron liquid collected from the guide channel into them. When the iron liquid fills the entire mold, only a small amount remains. We patiently wait for the iron liquid inside the mold to cool. After it cools down, we break the mold to obtain a rough and unattractive dwarven iron battle axe. The next crucial step is forging.